So you want to start a side hustle or potentially start a full-time business, but you don't know where to get started when it comes to Amazon FBA. Now, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 4 different business models, their pros and cons, and their startup costs associated with each one of them. My name's Cynthia. I've been an Amazon seller for 2 years, and I've done well over 7 figures with arbitrage and with Amazon Wholesale. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down all 4 of those methods, and stay tuned to the end because I'm going to be showing you which method is right for you. Before we dive into the 4 business models, let's quickly talk about what Amazon FBA actually is. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, which means you send a ton of products all together in one box or pallets, and Amazon handles all the shipping, fulfillment, and even customer service for you. That's why it's easier to deal with, because you don't have to deal with anything. It removes a ton of the logistical side of things, so you can just send your inventory, forget it, get some sales, and then rinse and repeat. Now, there's another model called FBM, which is Fulfillment by Merchant, in which you send the products directly to the customer. By buying a shipping label, you get the box, and you also deal with the customer service. So you can utilize both fulfillment methods, and the way we utilize both fulfillment methods is going to come into play on how we get the products and which products we sell. So now let's get into the 4 different business models. The first one is retail arbitrage, in which you physically go to stores and scan items and check the price on Amazon and make sure that it's selling for more. This one has low startup costs. You can start with around $500 to $1,000. The pros is that it's a quick entry, so low barrier of entry. So you can just literally get your Amazon account, start going to stores, find profit, take it home, list it on Amazon, sell it, and ship it out the next day. So you can quickly get that proof of concept. And then if you want, you can also start sending these items to FBA and utilize the FBA system. It's definitely a quick way to start making money on Amazon, but it's not quite scalable. The reason being is that if you go to, for example, a Ross store and you find like 10 Squishmallows, you can only get those 10 that are there. You'd have to go to another store to try and locate some more inventory so that you can get more sales. So it's definitely not scalable unless you have a team that you hire personally to go to stores and find those items that are already selling those bolos, be on the lookout type of items. So it's definitely a good place to start, but it's not scalable. The next one we have is online arbitrage, which is the same thing as going to stores, except you're doing it online strategically by utilizing coupons, cashback, and discounted gift cards to lower your buy cost and increase your profit margin on Amazon. Online arbitrage can be done from home. It's also a low startup cost. It's a little bit more scalable than retail arbitrage, but you are going to get hit with a lot of order cancellations. So it can be a little bit frustrating. Another thing is you get a lot of competition. There's a lot of these price tankers that come on listings and drive the price down, where the competition is also very high. Now let's get into my favorite one, which is Amazon Wholesale. I like to call this graduating from your side hustle to a full-time business, and you're actually a real legit business, because this one actually requires you to have your LLC, your EIN, and your resale certificate, and you need to also figure out a way to be able to move a large volume of inventory. So the pros here is that items are harder to get, so there's less competition. There's lower risk, a bit of a lower risk, because products that you're sourcing are already in high demand. So you're not building a brand or paying for marketing to get some sales. Now the cons is going to be that there's a lower profit margin, lower ROI, but faster moving products. It can be a little bit competitive, but not as much as online arbitrage, and it requires you to pick up the phone and send emails and build relationships with suppliers. So you also have to be good with your communication. This is actually how I scaled my business with 7 figures, is with online arbitrage and with wholesale, just a mix of the two. Now I'm about 95% wholesale and 5% of online arbitrage. Just when I'm bored, I do arbitrage here and there, but I do like to get most of my spending with my wholesale suppliers. So all of these models that I just mentioned, online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, and Amazon Wholesale, we are actually selling branded products. For example, Clorox, Windex, Dove soap, Head and Shoulders conditioner and shampoo. All of these products that are already in high demand, already selling, people are already searching for them, so you don't need to run any ads, any PPC. Now, when we get into private label, we are actually looking to launch our own brand, our very own product. We are creating the listing from scratch, and we are actually running PPC to drive sales to our listing. So with private label, we are sourcing directly from the manufacturer. The pros here is that it's higher profit margin because you're not middlemaning through a wholesaler or through a supplier. You're in full control over your branding, so you can customize everything to your own liking. It can actually become a sellable business. So for this business model, you would need a good starting capital of at least $15,000 to $30,000 for a really good brand that you can exit for a good 7 figures in the long run. So if you want to launch something on Amazon, I always like to say is go big or go home. If you're not going to put full energy and money and time into a brand and just have it be mediocre, that's why a lot of these private label people don't really make it, because they don't have the initial investment to create something that's good, something that stands out, and something that's worth selling. In my opinion, it's probably one of the best ones, but it's harder to get into and harder to scale because it requires a lot of moving parts. It also requires a longer lead time because you're sourcing, like I said, from China, and the shipping time, and then also when it arrives to Amazon, and those lead times can also take into effect. On average, you're looking at about 3 to 5 months on a good scale. It depends if you source from US or China-based manufacturers. It takes the most work and the most investments, but it's also the best if you're able to knock it out of the ballpark in the first shot. So there you have it. That's the breakdown of the 4 business models. Now, which model is right for you? Well, it depends how much capital you have to get started. If you have anywhere from $500 to $2,000, retail arbitrage and online arbitrage in tandem might not be a bad idea, because in the day you can go and hit the stores, scan stuff, get a couple items in, and in the evenings you can do a little bit of online arbitrage, or even hire a virtual assistant to do a little bit of online arbitrage and send you leads, and then you can tag team with the VA and scale that way, scale your way up to wholesale. Once you have at least 5 to 10K, then it would be a good idea to get into wholesale and build an actual business. So you kind of graduate from the side hustle to an actual business with wholesale. And then maybe if you want to launch a brand, be that final boss, get into private label, build that brand, and see if you can potentially exit the brand for 7 figures, 6, 7 figures. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.